Okay, so you're looking to start a business, become an entrepreneur, be your own boss, enjoy the freedom that comes along with being the one in charge. Well, it is amazing, and I am so glad that you've decided to do this. My name is Mario. I'm from CM Advisors. What I'm going to do today is give you 5 things that you need to seriously consider and do before you decide to take that plunge and start that business. 5 very important things, and it will greatly change the direction of you kicking off that business. Stuff. Anyway, first thing you need to think about, is this a business that you're creating or is it a job? Okay? I say that because it happens all too often. Businesses and jobs can be very similar, but scale very differently. Okay? So a scalable business is something that can continue to grow and operate without you in the picture. At some point, you're able to step away, hire some staff, whatever the case may be, and let that business continue to compound and grow. A job, where you're creating a job for yourself that looks like, an entrepreneurial business, is when you create a business that requires you to produce the product, only you, produce the service, and you can't pass that on to somebody else. Okay? It requires you to be in the business at all times. You really have to watch out for that. If that's what you want, then absolutely go for it. Nothing wrong with it. You can still scale that business as well. However, it's going to happen much differently in terms of size and length of time to get to a certain scale than it will a traditional business. So very important to understand that. Is it a business or is it a job business? The second thing you absolutely should consider, must consider, before you kick that business off is it a viable business? A lot of people are disappointed at this when it gets to the point they put so much work into building a business and getting it going. They create the logo, they got the website, they got everything, and then they realize that there's not much of a market for that product or that service. There's not enough people that will give money to you for that product or service to help you continue to grow or just basically sustain. So it's very, very important to do a real good deep dive, do a self-check and say, hey, is this out of passion alone? Or are there people out there who actually desire to have this product or service? Are there people out there who are willing to pay me for this product or service? Monumentally important. Is it viable? The third master tip in starting your own business is identify what will make your business or your product, your service, whatever it is you're offering out to people for money, what's going to make you unique? Okay? What is your different value proposition? How are you solving a problem for those customers, clients, people giving you money? And how are you doing it differently than anybody else in the space? Hugely important. At the end of the day, we need to think about the journey of the customer. And this is where a lot of businesses fail, is they think about their product, their worth. Here's what I'm going to offer. This is what I'm going to do. And they go do it. But what they don't think is the customer experience. What is going to make a customer see your advertisement and come to your business? If it's just the same as a competitor and you guys are just 2 people coexisting in one space, or 2 businesses, coexisting in one space, what is going to take the customer from them over to you? Okay, what is your unique advantage in that space? Okay, monumentally important. Once you've identified that, if you think about long term, you're going to use those unique characteristics and traits of your business, your product, your offering, to create the entire fabric, the entire culture of your business. Every step you do is going to be, should be, done around those unique traits. You want to fly those flags. You want everybody in the world to know, yes, I'm selling widgets just like all these other businesses, all these other competitors, but here's how I'm doing it differently, and this is why you should give me your money and not them. Simple things. What makes you different? Know it at the very beginning. It's going to be such an advantage for you. Okay, the 4th magical step that you must complete to starting a business. Take note, do a deep dive, understand what kind of equipment, what kind of training and skills you're going to need, along with local regulations. Okay? Is there something, governing bodies that govern the type of business that you're thinking about operating? Do you have the right zoning on your property to operate that business? What you do not want is somebody to come knocking at your door, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, maybe even 3 or 4 years down the road. It can happen way in the future, and say, hey, you need to cease operations right now or move to somewhere where you're allowed to run that business. Okay? Just things to think about. There's a million scenarios around that. All right, the fifth magical step. This arguably should be the first. I like to save the best for last, so we'll go with that. Make a plan. And you probably heard this all along, and I got a plan, no problem. I've got it written down on my dinner napkin here. You want some more detail than that. Now, right off the bat, you're going to think, hey, of course I've got a plan. I went and got financing from a bank or investment from wherever, and they insisted I have a plan. Heck, I even had to provide them with a cash flow statement and all these other fun things. Excellent. It's not enough. So if you've completed the other 4 steps along the way, you've determined your uniqueness of your business, viability of your business, all those other things we've discussed, you're going to want to create a financial plan outwards of at least 5 years. I recommend this to everybody. People think it's excessive. Oh, well, so much can change in 5 years. You're right. A lot can change in 5 years. I say that, the naysayers are just being lazy. Have a 5-year plan. It's never gone wrong for me. It always works. You're going to take that plan and you're going to consistently work it. Every time something changes, you're going to reflect that in your plan. You're going to keep building on it year over year, month after month, okay? 5-year plan. What this is going to help you do is you say, hey, I want to have a $1 million business. Maybe it's in 10 years. Fantastic. There's a lot of businesses out there that can become a $1 million business. People just don't think about the scale. And if you think about it, this is the very first thing that you go wrong with, is you don't dream big enough. So 5 years, think about everything that's going to happen along the way. Think about scale, okay? If you want to be creating I'll just keep using a $1 million example, $1 million business after 5 years, okay? $1 million in revenue, 5 years. Well, you're going to start out and you may not make $100,000 in the first year. That's fine, okay? What is it going to take to get past whatever that threshold is? Maybe you only make $80,000 in your first year. Second year, you'll be on track to do 120 per se. What is going to be required to get bigger than that? Are you going to need more people to perform a service? Are you going to need more equipment to create a product? Okay. What is that stuff going to cost? If you know where you want to end up, right? And you can dream big. If you want to have a $10 million business, go for it. It depends on what you're doing. Create a plan for it. Prove to yourself, prove to everybody else that you can get there. Show the steps along the way of what that growth is going to look like. Okay. It's super important. Know when you're going to need to spend money on capital purchases like equipment and stuff like that. Know when you're going to need to hire people. And in that process, what you can do is start looking at seasonality. Do you have a down season or a downtime? Maybe the product is not so much in demand, so manufacturing is going to dip for a month or two. That would be a great time to bring somebody new in. You have extra time to train them, right? You can plan for that. Always consider that. Okay, so that was it. The 5 things that you really should consider and you should think about before you start that business. It's going to set you off on a path running. It's going to keep you above water, we'll say, not drowning. It's really going to help you get off and started with an advantage over a lot of entrepreneurs. A lot of people don't consider those 5 things and they struggle with it through their whole first year, second year, and scale becomes difficult because you're just busy firefighting, okay? All of those things we mentioned and we discussed will put you on a path to success. We hope you found that useful. Now, some things you need to do aside from going and doing those 5 things straight away if you're starting your business is hit the subscribe, follow button. Give us a like. Everything we discussed here is going to be down in the comments or description section, so make sure you check that out. And we hope to see you again soon with much more tips and how-tos and all that fun stuff. And watch out for that video on how to create that plan and keep it intact as you grow and scale that business. Have a good day. Thanks for joining.